In the year 2025, the polar bears lost?
Oh boy.
We're here. Hi.
We are here.
Hello.
I'm back from the Polar Bear Wars.
We're all back. Welcome to
Yes.
Airborne
Polar
Sealife.
Bears.
We're
God, that's a
polar
horror show. I just realized what I was implying.
bears.
Aerial bears. Or wait, no. What if it's just a bear that does aerials by System of a Down?
No. Bear paratroopers. Paratroopers.
He beat me to it.
Paratroopers! Welcome to Airborne Sealife. It's the podcast where we talk about music and bears, apparently.
And nonsense.
First things first, because we didn't really get time to do this for the holidays, because we had a lot going on and everything. Manuel invaded my house. It was a whole thing.
I did.
But on behalf of Airborne Sealife, we want to thank you all for subscribing, for watching our videos and all that. It's now a year since we've started, or just under a year since we've officially started this podcast, and it's been really cool so far. I mean, we've had some great videos come out with like the band made reactions, with the Warning, the Linkin Park full album reaction. We're really glad that was that had some great expectations and expectations fulfilled on that. Some really great stuff. You know, subscriber count, we're getting up there. So thank you all for supporting us through this first year of us doing our thing, and we hope we're still doing a good job, and there's more to come. So
Y'all know, Mel, how to make a girl feel special.
Do we have news, Brandon? What's the news?
Well, again, I want to preface this by saying that, like, it's January. There's really only so much happening because, we did have that whole discussion where, like, no one wants to compete with holidays, and there's really no releases coming out, and there's only so much happening. So it's a little pickings or slim, but I have, as always, delivered. We're going to talk a little bit about today about why the birthplace of AC/DC was mistakenly demolished.
Ooh, do tell.
So I have a question before we begin this.
Yes.
Because we are talking about the great continent of Australia. Did this at any point involve spiders?
No. Thank God. No, we don't have any need for all that. No, it did not. Or at least I don't know. Like I gotta say.
Spiders. Okay.
All right. So, Tom Compagnani, a video producer at the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia, has published an 11-minute documentary investigating how the childhood home of Aengus and Malcolm Young of AC/DC, Australia's greatest cultural export, was demolished by a Sydney property developer. The video explains that the two previous documentaries of AC/DC's Sydney heritage, including interviews from former band members Mark Evans, Noel Taylor, and Rob Bailey, who share their memories of spending time at Young's family house in Burwood during the 1970s. Burwood Mayor John Faker, Faker, I am reading that loud for the first time, also provides insights to the local connection between AC/DC and Burwood. There seems to be just like a whole like thing of like accidentally destroying a piece of rock and roll history.
Hey, we could get in on that.
Wait, hold on. When you say get in on that, documenting it or destroying it?
What do you think?
He's thinking destroying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm on board. I'm ready. Let's go.
I don't know what yet, but I mean, we're in New Jersey.
Chuck Berry's guitar.
There's got to be some Bon Jovi crap around here somewhere that we can burn.
What did Bon Jovi ever do to you?
I like Bon Jovi. I like Bon Jovi a lot.
New Jersey's not going to like that one.
No.
Manuel, do you want us run out of this state with pitchforks and torches?
No.
There's like a whole...
Isn't he a national treasure? Like
he is a national treasure. It's a state treasure.
It's him.
He's a state treasure.
Yeah.
Springsteen, right?
Springsteen.
There's a rest stop on the Garden State Parkway that has like a holographic Bon Jovi exhibit. It's very funny.
This is legit the only state in the country where you can still hear Bon Jovi in like a grocery store.
Yeah, but like that holographic Bon Jovi is going to come to life, and it's going to destroy, and it's going to burn a path of destruction, trying to reach us like a kaiju.
Oh no!
It's got to be so bad.
I'm just imagining Bon Jovi as a kaiju now. You know,
it's
like
Doesn't he live in Tennessee now?
Yeah, he's got a bar there. It's like 3
Yeah.
stories or something.
I mean, that is pretty righteous, having a 3-story bar.
Well, so I have
A lot of bars in Nashville are multi-story.
Are
It's kind of a
multi-story.
nightmare because they put a band on each one of the stories. So you walk out on the street and there's like 16 bands all like overlapping each other.
I have a friend who I think applied to work there or briefly worked there. I can't remember. Oh no, it was after I was there when it opened. A friend of mine was telling me about how apparently each floor is dedicated to something different. So the first floor is like the band they actually hire. The second floor is like a cover band of like different things every time. And then the third is just a Bon Jovi tribute act.
Let's see. Okay, I found a little bit more detail in here.
Regarding the AC/DC thing or the Bon Jovi thing?
The AC/DC thing. I was been periodically reading this a little bit. According to the Herald Sun, the home was bulldozed after it was purchased by developers in February 2023. Australian dollars for 5.8 million, approximately 3.6 on wow, it's just it was just purchased for a good amount, and people are not happy about it. That town is really pissed off.
I'm actually kind of amazed that the government, or I guess like gladly let it get sold and not try to. I don't know if Australia does like hair.
Hold on, get this. The reason it was bulldozed was Burwood's council review concluded the home, quote, does not meet criteria for aesthetic significance, nor did it have any known technical or research value.
Oh, that makes more sense.
And then they just learned about what they had done after the fact, and that must have been some egg on their face. Hey, we may have accidentally destroyed a piece of music history. So, and not just any music history, one of the biggest bands of all time. I hope that's okay.
Imagine one day in the future.
This is why you do some research, kids.
Imagine one day in the dystopian future where roads are not a thing anymore. They destroy Abbey Road. And someone goes, "You did what now?" And they go, "Well, we had to tear it down because all the cars are floating and shit." And they go, "You know what you destroyed, right?" And they go, "No,
why?
Abbey Road?" They go, "You did Abbey Road? No, Abbey Road. Oh, oops."
Look, I know the.
By then, Ringo Starr will be like 1,000 years old and still the only member alive for some reason.
Ringo Starr.
Head in jar. Head in jar. Head in jar. Head in jar.
I want Ringo Starr to just be an immortal cyborg, honestly.
Head in jar on a robot body.
This is just Futurama now.
It is just Futurama. Okay, so I was going to bring that up because, I don't remember if it's a thing in certain states, depending where you go, I'd assume, but also the states are huge. But in Canada, there are we have heritage architecture here of stuff that was built, in the 1700s, 1800s that we've kept due to its significance in cultural history in Canada, and also for certain people. So there's a very famous.
Everywhere does that.
Yeah, I was going to say every town has my favorite example is my wife and I go to Cape May periodically, and it's this very old school Victorian kind of deal. There's houses that are hundreds of years old, and they all have ghost tours and all sorts of very distinctive.
Yeah, good point. What the fuck am I saying? Right, good point. Because now I'm thinking I'm amazed that.
No, I see the logic behind the question. It's not a dumb question.
Yeah. No, but I think my thing is towards now with the Australians that. Since they have a justification, they couldn't find any real reason for it to be up. There was nothing in there that would have been oh, hey, here's these markings on the wall that they fucking carved to be what if Back in Black was like this? Or I don't know, a lightning bolt. And they went, oh my god, boom, thunder struck.
All I can say is I'm not saying I wanted this to happen.
Yusuf,
but
are you having a stroke?
No. Yeah.
I just have not gotten a lot of sleep in the last few days.
There's a lot of dumb things you could say about if this happened at different houses. If this happened to the Pink Floyd house, the guy who destroyed it could be well, there's no more bricks in that wall.
Imagine being
that guy.
Hold on, hear me out. Here's another ridiculous one. Imagine being a development company, and you were told, "Hey, we got we bought this land and this giant house that's on it. We're gonna bulldoze the house and we're gonna build something new." They destroy the whole place, and then finally the people of that town go, "You just destroyed Prince's house, right?" And they go, "How are we supposed to know it was Prince's house? It was purple.
It was purple. It was purple." Did you not see the weird iconography on it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, at the end of the day, it does suck that it got accidentally demolished, but if there was no evidence of research or cultural significance towards the history of AC/DC, I get it. But at the same time, I understand why people are pissed. It's a double-edged sword of an argument, you know what I mean?
Realistically, it is still just a house.
I mean, it is just a house, but the idea is it becomes, there's always these to the fans type of cultural artifacts that exist that you don't really talk about them, but those who know
right, that
they're out there, like a bar that Prince, for example, may have visited when he was younger and did a lot of his early writing. Right. Or there was a woman who was best friends with Prince, whose house is significant, and he wrote all his songs there, but no one talks about her.
No, it is very important to, especially if you're going to knock something down, make sure you know what it is first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But such is life, I guess.
Moral of the stories: don't accidentally destroy a piece of music history.
Intentionally destroy a piece of music history. Bon Jovi, here we come. No.
Bon Jovi, if you're still watching, you passed our test.
Manuel says as he secretly is looking up anything regarding Carrie King.
Oh no!
And I mean anything.
So what are we reacting to today, Yusuf?
So obviously it's January.
I need to know how you're gonna get there.
All right, so it's January, right? And right now there's not a lot of new music coming out. Obviously there is music coming out, but nothing huge.
For those of you who are not involved in the music industry, from about mid-November to about mid-February,
it's Mariah Carey
music happening, because it's Mariah Carey season, and then everyone is too broken hungover from the holidays to actually listen to new music, and that is why this happens.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the thing at the end of the day, it's hard to release new music during the Christmas time because everything is taken up by either Mariah Carey or the church. So
I mean, it's also just that malaise after the holidays. We're God, exactly. I gotta go back to work now.
Because it's oh, the holidays are here. Let's just relax. And we're hey, you might be, some band might be oh, well, we want to release a new record. Oh, can we wait a month to release it? Because God knows that no one wants to release it after New Year's, right after New Year's. Anyway,
yeah.
So, it's a slow period in the music industry right now. Just wait in a month. We're already planning out February because there's a bunch of new releases coming out. So that's later. So there's nothing much happening right now. And in our little discussion of what we could talk about, what we could listen to today, I thought we might have some fun with a song that is very not near and dear to my heart, but just ridiculous. It is so much fun. And you're probably wondering how I'm going to get to this song, right? You're probably wondering, Yusuf, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you just stalling and sidebarring and blah, 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 blah? Well, it's a story, right? I like telling stories as I speak, and this song is a story in itself. And as we talked about Aengus Young of AC/DC, we must talk about another great Aengus in the world of music, and that is Aengus, the Prize Winning Hog. The song by dream indie pop band, or rock band, I guess, the Toxhards. They're based in California, but Alan, their drummer / guitar player / vocal, they're crazy people. Is from Michigan. Anyway, they're California based. I came across them by accident long ago because a friend of mine saw them in a basement show in Nashville 2 years ago or something. And there was just a man in a hog costume. And I went, okay, why does this sound good? This sounds really good. So we're going to sit down and we're going to listen to a song about a hog, a prize-winning hog, named Aengus, just not the AC/DC guy. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
If you said no, I don't care.
He's been disregarded.
I've been disregarding this the entire time. All right.
It's okay.
Let's go.
I will invade your home again, Yusuf.
Yeah.
For America.
Aengus the prize-winning hog emerged from a cranberry bog, determined to win a shiny ribbon at the fair. So Aengus the prize-winning hog skipped 600 miles into Prague, where he sang and he pranced, and the people all danced to his tune. And they cheered! Aengus the prize-winning hog! Aengus the prize-winning hog! Almightier than God! Aengus the prize-winning hog! Aengus is the leader, Aengus is the brother, Aengus is the father, Aengus is the savior, Aengus is the answer, always and forever. Aengus will protect you, follow him forever. Aengus for governor, Aengus for president, Aengus for chancellor, Aengus for everything. The butcherman says he's not for the people. The butcherman says he's not for the people. The butcherman says that he's for the people. 'Cause butcherman knows the best for the people. The butcherman understands all the people. The butcherman says the hog hates the people. The butcherman knows what's good for the people. But Aengus knows butcherman is out for blood. Run, Mr. Butcherman! Run, Mr. Butcherman! Tell your own to say, run, Mr. Butcherman! Aengus will fight for the When the sacrifice was made for the people Aengus loved so dear, the band struck up and played, and the people stood and cheered. Aengus the prize-winning hog! Aengus the prize-winning hog! As an angel to God! Aengus the prize-winning hog! Aengus is the leader, Aengus is the brother, Aengus is the father, Aengus is the savior, Aengus is the answer, always and forever. Aengus will protect you, worship him forever. Aengus is the leader, Aengus is the brother, Aengus is the father, Aengus is the savior, Aengus is the answer, always and forever. Aengus will protect you, worship him forever now. So Aengus the angelic swine returned to the cranberry bog in the sky, and he rested his eyes, and his soul fades and dies with this tune.
What a song.
So, Brendan,
Also, Rush, never heard of him.
So it came in a little distorted for me, so I had to bring it up on YouTube separately and
Did it?
watch it a little
Okay.
bit. But like, no, it's okay. I got the gist very quickly of what we're looking at. I was this turned into a whole experience.
oh yeah, it really does. Like
Like
that.
it's heavy and indie and like this weird blend that I have seldom experienced before.
It's
Like,
I've only ever been able to describe it as what happened if Rush wrote a rock opera
I can see that.
Didn't
for
Rush
fun.
write a rock opera?
Did they? Does
Well,
Conan
that's not
count
good
as
that
an
you're
opera?
asking.
Clearly not.
Clearly, but yeah, no, it's such a fun song because a lot of people found out about this band through this because it went viral on like Instagram and TikTok about a year or two ago now, 2023, I guess. And a lot of it stems from their antics in this song, mainly because whenever they play this live, their main drummer, Casey, who does the vocals on this, always wears the hog costume on stage. Like, their commitment to this is insane. And so people found this out. They had performed at, like, I think it was one of their members' sisters was getting married, and they played that at the wedding, and that got viral. And anyway, it's a fun, interesting, fucking hilarious song. Any thoughts, Brendan? Like,
Well, actually, it's funny you mention that because when I was going into YouTube to like get my own copy, one of the things that came up was Aengus the Prize Winning Hog wedding,
Yes.
and I thought that was unusual, and that explains a whole lot of that. It is a very good song, but it's just like a very odd song. Like there's very clear undertones of like very culty mentality. It's like very like, ooh, this is a wild song, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the storytelling is actually fantastic.
It's great storytelling.
It's deranged, but it's great storytelling.
Well, no, and just the text setting, the way, especially all those like 5, 8, 10, 16, whatever you want to call them, segments.
Yeah.
It's great musicianship under mental illness. Like there's a lot of really great stuff.
A lot of work was clearly put into getting it to where it's both very explicit in its story, but it is also very vibey.
Yeah, there's a very clear vibe going on here.
It's like we're telling a story about a pig who comes out of a cranberry bog, goes to Prague, and then becomes a deity, essentially.
Yes.
But the amount of weird culty shit that happens in between that story is perfect.
He ended up as a pair of ankles at the end, Manuel. That was like I don't. You don't come back from that in terms of like your whole narrative, you know. It's just
no.
There are or not a pair of ankles.
I mean, it's not unlike bands like Primus that just do completely unhinged shit that is totally coherent within its own universe.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just like really insanely talented musicians who put up front this very distinctive vibe that they're trying to cultivate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always remember the band like Max Sabbath, where like they have they're the living embodiment of commitment to the bit, where they won't even do interviews outside of their costumes and makeup. Like, you will only get a scary Ronald McDonald or a scary Mayor McCheese, and that's the end of it. You're not going to interview the musician. You're going to interview the character.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point otherwise.
Well, I mean, look at Gwar.
Well, no, like, that's not true, because the current lead singer of Gwar has a TED Talk where he's out of costume.
Oh, you're right, he does. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you can't even compare. It supersedes Gwar in their committing to the bittedness. It's actively more like
Sleep Token?
More Gwar-y than Gwar in that instance.
Sleep Token? They're still committed to their bit.
I mean, Sleep Token very much does everything in character.
Yeah, and they do no interviews, like,
of
ever.
all the masked bands, like, so many of them feel like they're... I'm getting off topic now, but so many of them feel like they're just kind of itching to tell you who they are.
Yeah,
right.
But not Sleep Token.
No.
Like, I wouldn't say that's off topic. I think that's part of, like, there's a clear like, because like Yusuf, you said they do this like at live shows like all the time. There's like they don't not do the shows in this bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're not like in the pig costume the whole time, are they?
Okay.
No, he is.
Is he?
So basically,
No. The whole show.
So what happened? I didn't know this until I saw them in October, early like in 2024. So just last year, basically, right? They were opening for "Here Come the Mummies," which hilarious tour of all things. Like
Brilliant.
you picked the best possible band to open for you. Oh, so good. Anyway, but so my sister and I went. Mainly, my sister wanted to go see the Toxhards. So we go see the show, and they get up. And by the way, the thing I love about this band is that all of their stuff outside of this is so different. It's just dreamy indie rock, and then there's this fucking thing, right?
Is it not like proggy?
Not really. No. Yeah, it's actually really.
They
cool.
wrote a Rush song, and then they were like, "Yep, that's enough for me."
Yeah. Well, yeah. According to their band members, so Alan, their main singer, they do all the writing for like they've done a lot of the writing for like all the dreamy indie stuff they've done. But for Aengus specifically, it was their drummer Casey's idea, and he's the one that does the vocals for Aengus and everything. So yeah. Anyway, so we get the show, whatever, right? And the Toxhards are getting on stage, and their drummer Casey comes out, hog costume on, but deflated. And so what happens is they'll play the show as they do. And then when they get to Aengus, he'll walk off stage to get it inflated. And they'll like banter for a bit. And then he'll just come out, grab a microphone, and goes. He wears it the entire time, including when I don't know if they do this at every show, but they did this for Toronto, probably every show. But in Toronto, they finish. They get off stage. Here Come the Mummies come out, and you're vibing. It's the fucking Mummies. It's just funk about dick jokes and shit. And you look over to the side of the venue, and the Toxhards are at their merch booth, like vibing, and you can see the hog costume is still on and still inflated. Like their commitment to this thing is ridiculous. Also, they have someone come out dressed as a butcher man, and then he and Aengus will fucking fight. Yeah,
I think actually we watched a ton of them at the studio with Charlie.
Yeah, because Charlie didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like there's a certain level you absolutely have to commit to the bit because I feel like if you double back on like what you said, then it devalues the performance a bit, I think.
Right.
Like the second you stop doing it, it loses the meaning. Otherwise, you just suddenly become the guy who occasionally wore a hog costume during a run of that bit, and then that was the end of it. It becomes a bit instead of a piece of art.
Right. Yeah. No, 100%. I feel like all right. I feel like with regards to commitment, right? It's hard to. Oh no, man. Well, what happened? Anyway,
he said he's having some technical difficulties, but it's okay.
Lame. Anyway, regards to committing to the bit, like it's easy. It's easier said than done because I think a lot of bands still treat that as a cliche because they'll only do the bit for so long until finally they're just like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. Like, but that's like a very pivotal and vital piece of your identity. So it's weird. But
yeah, I think there's a certain element of like people come to a show hoping, oh, are you going to do the thing? Like, and then you don't get to see the thing. And it's like, why did I even come here?
Yeah. And the thing is, like the Toxhards, they're still a relatively young band. They have a full album actually coming out this year, or they're working on it this year, I think is what they were saying. But they just released an album of everything they've worked on up until now. It's like 12 songs. And everyone that has gone to see them, like I remember when we saw them in Toronto, there were a bunch of people standing beside us that were all there because of the hog costume.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, there's no way they're not playing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you're going there because you're expecting it. And the thing is, I think it works better for younger bands because they're like, good, people are coming to see this ridiculous thing we've done. Excellent. I feel like with some bands, like a lot older, it becomes a chore for them where they're like, ugh, these people only want to come here for this. Why? I'm like,
Well, like,
well,
I think musical history, if you look back, like especially towards like the 80s, like a lot of the hair rock bands,
mhm,
you look back and you see like the spandex, you see like ripped pants and certain very specific aesthetics, face paint, like big hair in very specific ways, really like by modern standards, cringy. Oh, Manuel's back.
I am back.
Very cringy, like dog collars and like bullet belts and stuff. But then in the years later, they're like, oh, wow, we really regret how dumb we looked. But then you get a guy like Dee Schneider of Twisted Sister. It's like, no, I looked exactly as cool as I wanted to look. Like, it all depends on the perspective of the artist taking it. There's always been that like certain degree, I think, in music where there's always some kind of spectacle that people come to affiliate with it. It's just
There is something a little bit cool about being unapologetically ridiculous.
I think so. But I think it depends on the bit. Like, some people don't understand how to tell that kind of joke. And there's a fine line, I think, between looking like a cringy dad joke that's come to life from a child's wish and actively subverting art. You know what I mean? Like, there's a delivery of joke where it comes off as corny versus subversive.
Well,
versus
I get
provocative.
you. I get
I
you.
keep
Yeah.
saying, like, some of my favorite music, and this extends to art in general, but music in particular, is stuff that is really ridiculous while still being really well made.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can tell when something is, because all it really is was an inflatable pig costume and a nose, right? There
Yeah,
isn't really,
yeah.
there's nothing really tremendously complicated about the outfit.
No.
But what it really is it's an affiliation with the rest of the piece. It's an part of an ensemble that delivers a very distinctive vibe. Like the energy you carry through that, the set, the other people who are acting with you, you all have to be on the same vibe.
Well, it's like when Glory Hammer comes out with the armor and the hammer
and everything.
yeah.
Or Ailstorm with the duck.
Or the watering can.
Or the watering can. No.
Like, it's all part of a very clear-cut artistic narrative that you've been telling up to that point, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
I also have a... Sorry, Brendan, finish your point. I'll get to this.
No, it needs to be done in a very... It's like, it's all the old saying, you don't know art, but you know what you like. And it's the kind of thing where, like, you know when it's done badly because you can tell it was done badly.
Mm-hmm.
And you could definitely tell good. Like, during that whole song, we knew it was done well because of, like, the impression it left on us.
Yeah.
Like, when we're talking about it after the fact, that's how you know it was done well. Now, to your point, Yusuf.
I was going to say, they're also... It's funny, because they also have a song called... I think it's called The Coffee Song. I can't remember the name of it exactly. But the whole bit is halfway through that song, they have a pot of coffee brewing behind them. And one of their members will grab the pot of coffee in cups and pour coffee for people in the audience.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's such a simple thing, but like I laugh because it makes so much sense. Of course they would do that. Like, it makes sense to me. I don't know how to explain it. It all fits together super well. Are we bringing up details on the coffee song?
No, I just have to... We could listen to the coffee song.
Yeah.
You want to listen to the coffee
think
song?
we just had the same brain fart. That's excellent. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
But like, that's my point. Like, when you have something where, like, you just tell me that, like, a band does something. He's going to go get a cup of coffee, everyone. That's the effect the band has on people. Like, Manuel, you know what I'm saying. Like, if something is done well, you don't need to understand. It just perfectly fits in place.
That's actually something I've been thinking about lately, because I'm trying to disconnect more from the music that I'm working on and listen to it more as a listener. Because when like if you're doing that properly and then you start thinking as a composer again, you're like, that isn't good enough because I started thinking about how to make it better.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it's like when I used to do illustrations, like the one of the old mindsets that you have is that like you're never going to be done. At some point, you're just going to have to like post what you made. It's never going to be perfect. You'll never be done if you keep tweaking it. At some point, you have to be done.
But you have to be able to put yourself in the mind of someone who's listening to your work, who doesn't have the context of whatever soup you have going on in your mind that led to you making it.
Because like, if you don't want your music's point to be, look how smart I am, it's the best music you're ever going to hear. If you don't agree with it, then screw you. You were clearly wrong. Like, you want people to connect with it automatically. You want people to just understand what we were trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Toxhards do exactly what that it does what it says on the tin. You know, it does deliver that experience. Like, I didn't need to be explained what the experience was. I intuitively understood on a fundamental level, like, what they're trying to get at. And that's good music.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, right? It's storytelling. If you're able to tell a story in a way that less questions are asked in regards to what the story is supposed to convey, you're doing a good job. Because then everyone knows the whole idea. It is, exactly. It's like a joke, right? There's only a certain way to tell it. Yeah, then it's not funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Oh. That makes sense. No. This band's fun. And also, there's only so much we can talk about right now. Well, there is... Yeah, I do want to wrap up here, but on the topic of cliches and whatnot, well, maybe not on the topic, but I don't know if we should say this right now. Manuel, have you heard about what's going on with Obscura?
No.
So apparently,
besides the Christian Mosner stuff.
So apparently, there was a whole thing. Christian posted about this on Instagram yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago, that Obscura plagiarized some riffs from some stuff that Exist is working on. And that's been a bit of a hot topic the last 24 hours, 48 hours now. That Obscura straight up just plagiarized a bunch of shit from Exist, and they're like, hey, no, that's bad. So, yeah.
Nobody likes to plagiarize,
No.
Yeah.
That's not so good. You never want to be the plagiarism guy.
No. That's, that's a whole other conversation we can have for another time. I think maybe another time would be better for this. But
yeah, a developing story, perhaps.
A developing story, if anything comes out of it. But yeah. No, the Toxhards are fun. They're a cool band. And hey, if you guys happen to watch this, Toxhards, Alan, Casey, Emerson, come hang out on the show. Come hang out here.
Talk to us.
Totally.
Come be our friends.
We'd love to chat with you guys about how the fuck you came out with this. Yes, we have cookies. What kind of cookies?
We could have cookies.
Will you be able to eat them through the internet? I don't know, but you'll have to come out and find out.
Bear paws.
Mash them into...
Here, enjoy your ones and zeros.
Your hose. Yes. Your binary cookies.
I feel like we get stupider every time we do this show.
We do! And we'll just keep going until we're single-cell organisms.
On that note.
Oh, no.
Or until we're heads in a jar. And on that note, oh my god.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start taping a picture of Space President Nixon over my webcam.
He's just making the face where he's going,
yeah.
On that note, I think this is a good place to wrap because we're all just
dumb.
We need to not record in the mornings anymore.
It's been a year, and
this is the best time to record. I don't care what you say.
Oh my goodness. This has been Airborne Sealife. You know where to find us here on YouTube. Hopefully this is the year
we know where to find you.
It's good to be back, everybody.
So it's good to be back. Thank you again to everyone that has supported us over the year. There's more to come.
Yeah.
Hey, if you have a favorite band that's releasing something new, or if you know something that we don't,
or if you are in a band that would like to come and talk to us.
yeah.
Is your dog in a band? Put them on here too.
I'll talk to a dog for 45 minutes.
I'll talk to a dog for a whole day.
Anyway, like, follow, subscribe.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
Airborne Sealife out.
Woo.
Woof.